Picture this, you're Stan, sipping lukewarm coffee while your crush leaves your text on read like it's an Olympic sport. That thumping in your chest. Not love, just your heart throwing a tantrum while the universe laughs in subtitles. Unrequited love is basically a rom-com where you're the only one who showed up to the audition. But don't worry, science says you are not pathetic, just chemically betrayed by your own brain. So grab a snack and buckle up, because this emotional roller coaster has no seatbelts and way too much inner monologue. Unrequited love is almost universal. Think you are a lone wolf in this, rooting over someone who could not text back. Scratch that. A well-cited study in Sage Open reported that a staggering 98% of people have experienced unrequited love at least once, whether they were doing the chasing or being chased. Another survey found around 70% of Americans confessed to having experienced a painful crush that wasn't returned. So no, you are not some exotic case, unfortunately. You are just human. Science says it's more common than binging TikTok, and the story spans generations. Teens, adults, even poets since ancient times have been scribbling frantic sonnets about the one who didn't feel it back. You are in matchless company, yet strangely alone. Brain versus broken heart. Your brain during unrequited love is a petri dish of neurotransmitters gone wild. The limbic system lights up like Christmas when you catch their name in conversation. Studies show early passionate love triggers intense activity in dopamine-rich regions like the VTA, nucleus accumbens, and yes, that insula. That gloriously addictive rush is tempered with cortisol-fueled stress responses, hello sweaty palms, and 8 hours of being awake thinking, why didn't they reply? It gets messy. The same neural circuit that senses physical pain gets triggered by romantic rejection, making heartbreak literally hurt your body. It's like your brain ordered a dopamine sundae, but forgot to remove the panic toppings. Love as addiction. Limerence is like your brain downloaded a rom-com, added caffeine, and forgot it was not real. Suddenly you're daydreaming wedding hashtags because they held the door once. Dorothy Ten coined it as the emotional equivalent of a slot machine. You keep pulling the handle hoping for a "they like me" jackpot, even though the machine mostly spits out silence and vague emojis. Studies show 50% of women and 35% of men fall into this chemical crush trap, though recent numbers suggest it's more like everyone with a pulse. It's not love, it's a neurochemical scavenger hunt where your brain throws confetti every time they say hi. And yes, you start thinking maybe the way they sneezed meant something. Spoiler, it didn't. But hey, who needs drugs when your crush breeds and sends you spiraling? Different flavors of unrequitedness picture a menu of heartbreak, something for every emotional palate. Psychologists have identified distinct types from fleeting crush confusion, you wave, they ignore, to committed crush, you adore someone already taken, up to one-sided intensity, full-blown obsession. One study says about 80% of people report unwanted romantic attraction, often complicated by emotional investment, and the stress scale ranges wildly. Some minor crushes are more awkward smile than heart attack. Others spiral into anxiety, sleep issues, even triggers for depression. It's like choosing between mild salsa and ghost pepper. None are pleasant, but intensity varies. Tears, shame, and brain tweaks. Heartbreak does not just bruise your ego, it throws your nervous system into full-blown DEFCON 1, pumping cortisol like you are prepping for a bear attack instead of a missed goodnight text. Your immune system crashes, your blood pressure spikes, and suddenly you're crying into your cereal over someone who probably hasn't thought about you since Tuesday. Meanwhile, intrusive thoughts invade your brain like pop-up ads. Up to 85% of your mental space is now occupied by imaginary scenarios and the delusional hope that their seen notification meant something deep. Emotionally, it's public humiliation meets a Shakespearean tragedy, except your stage is Instagram and your soliloquy is 3 a.m. scrolling. But here's the kicker, you're not nuts, you're just hormonally hijacked. This isn't madness, it's biology in melodrama mode. Laughing through emotional fire. Here's a silver bullet, laughter. A 2020 study in Frontiers in Psychology confirmed humor helps people reframe emotional burdens, including unrequited love, by boosting self-esteem and perspective shifting. Basically, joking about how dramatic your text meltdown was rewires your emotional circuitry from "woe is me" to "I survived that spectacle." It's cognitive behavioral therapy with a stand-up twist. Crack a joke, and you crack the trance. It can be as simple as imagining your crush ghosting you mid-spiel and whispering, "Plot twist, I'd ghost me too." Laughter reduces stress hormones, primes positive mood states, and hey, if you're going to suffer, you might as well go out laughing. Why we chase ghosts. Chasing someone who treats you like furniture isn't just poor judgment, it's evolutionary programming doing stand-up comedy at your expense. Turns out, our brains love a good mystery, and when someone's hot and cold, dopamine treats it like an emotional scratch-off ticket. Maybe this time you'll win a heart emoji. Psychologist Helen Fisher compares it to the stock market. The more unpredictable the returns, the more your brain invests, which is how you end up romanticizing a thumbs-up reaction on your story. Our ancestors chased love through wild jungles. You're just chasing vague texts and breadcrumb emojis. It's not your fault scarcity makes everything feel designer. Modern dating apps just monetize this ancient survival glitch with filters and typing indicators. Congratulations, you're neurochemically catfished. How long will you suffer? So, how long will this love-induced soap opera rerun in your head? Well, science says limerence can last anywhere from a few weeks to 3 years, but let's be honest, your brain might be clinging like a raccoon to a shiny object. One poor soul reportedly stayed hung up for 65 years. Talk about romantic Wi-Fi that refuses to disconnect. The duration depends on how often you refresh their Instagram, how good your friends are at talking you down, and whether you are ready to finally say, I would rather love myself than wait for your 2 a.m. emoji. Mixed signals are emotional junk food, tasty but toxic. But here's the kicker. This emotional operating system isn't permanent. Hit Control-Alt-Delete on your crush, rebuild your boundaries, and upgrade to someone who texts back. From heartbreak to high five, healing is doable. Cognitive therapy shows that writing down your crush's imperfections helps reduce obsession. Blocking and no contact remove dopamine triggers and allow your brain to detox. Lean on supportive friends or a therapist who helps you reframe the narrative. Yes, neuroplasticity applies to emotional rewiring too. Self-care kills cravings, humor kills despair, and when you're ready, seek connections with emotionally available individuals. Courting secure attachment breaks old patterns. From tragedy to triumph, your brain learns new neural pathways that declare, I want reciprocal love, not emotional leftovers. You have survived and thrived. Surviving unrequited love is like earning an emotional black belt. You did not just cry to your cereal, you leveled up. Neuroscience shows your post-heartbreak brain isn't just sulking, it's rewiring, rebalancing dopamine like a moody DJ remixing your playlist. That time you ugly laughed at a sad meme while wearing last week's hoodie, that was your nervous system healing, not losing it. You've mastered emotional cardio, pacing yourself, setting boundaries, and knowing when to unfollow your ex-crush's dog. These aren't just coping skills, they are relationship superpowers. Now, when the right person shows up, you're no longer a walking love grenade. You're emotionally fluent and hilariously fluent in memes, emotional maturity, and patterns. Unrequited love is not just your heart auditioning for a sad indie film, it's your emotional blueprint yelling, hey, we have done this before. According to attachment theory, if you keep falling for emotionally unavailable types like it's your toxic superpower, you might be replaying the greatest hits of childhood bonding gone sideways. It's like your brain downloaded a bad rom-com script in kindergarten and never updated the software. The good news? You can rewrite it. Therapy is not just for people with crystals and crying journals, it's for learning that love does not have to feel like emotional dodgeball. You are not cursed, you are just miswired, and wires can be fixed, preferably without sparks. Welcome to emotional adulthood, where ghosting is a red flag, not a love language. If your heart's been ghosted and your brain's still rebooting, welcome to the club. We cry and laugh here. Smash that like button if you've ever fallen for someone who texted K and meant it. And don't forget to subscribe for more emotional chaos, humor, and science-backed sanity.